Hey everyone, so you've been staring at those blurry photos of the night sky you took with your phone, right? You finally saved up for a decent camera and tripod, but the stars still look like tiny smudges no matter how much you tweak the settings. It's beyond frustrating when you just want to capture something that looks like the pictures from NASA instead of a grainy mess. Well, I ran into the exact same problem last summer, and that's when I stumbled across the Vaonis Vespera Pro Smart Telescope. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sold me was the promise of just point and shoot astrophotography. I'm not an engineer, I don't have a PhD in optics, and I definitely don't want to spend hours stacking 500 raw frames in Photoshop. The Vespera Pro uses something called suffice 2 and CovalENS tech to do the heavy lifting for you. You literally set it up in your backyard, align it with the built-in compass and GPS, and tap an object on the app. The scope slews over, locks on, and starts capturing calibrated shots automatically. I pointed it at the Ring Nebula one night and walked back inside while it did its thing. 45 minutes later I had a crisp, color-balanced image ready to share, no stacking, no fuss. The optics are top-tier too. They use a 50mm apochromatic doublet with extra low dispersion glass, so chromatic aberration is basically non-existent. I've compared side-by-side shots with my old 80mm refractor, and the Vespera Pro delivers noticeably sharper edges and richer nebula hues. The automatic dark calibration is a game-saver as well. Every session starts with a quick dark frame capture so you don't have to remember to shoot calibration frames manually. Another neat feature is the Singularity Unlock. Once you connect the scope to the app, it can download firmware updates and even suggest targets based on your location and the current moon phase. I've discovered galaxies I'd never heard of just by letting the app guide me. It also integrates with Stellarium and Sky Safari, so if you're already using those planetarium apps you won't have to relearn anything. Durability-wise, the scope feels rock solid. The carbon fiber tube resists temperature shifts, and the dual-speed focuser is smooth enough that I can fine-tune focus without jiggling the mount. Battery life is solid too, about 6 hours on a single charge, which is plenty for a full night of imaging. Now, it's not perfect. The mount is a bit heavy for backpacking, so if you're looking for something ultra-portable this might feel like overkill. Also, the app can be a little laggy when you're on a weaker Wi-Fi signal, so I usually tether my phone to get a faster connection. All in all, if you're tired of blurry photos and want real astrophotography without the steep learning curve, the Vaonis Vespera Pro is worth every penny. Link is below if you want to take a closer look. Happy stargazing, everyone! For most buyers, the real question is not whether Vaonis Vespera Pro Smart Telescope sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like suffice 2 and CovalENS actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about Vaonis Vespera Pro Smart Telescope is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. That usually matters more than flashy marketing because long-term satisfaction comes from how well the product fits your actual routine, priorities, and expectations once you start using it regularly. In real use, details like suffice 2, CovalENS, premium quality optics are often the points that shape whether a product feels convenient, dependable, and worth the money after the excitement of opening the box wears off. So the smart buying decision here is less about chasing every spec and more about deciding whether the core strengths line up with the things you will personally notice most from day to day. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Vaonis Vespera Pro Smart Telescope usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.